The deadline in this sector for voluntary presentation at the experimental center is 6 o'clock.
You're supposed to be an artist. Use your imagination.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm all out.
What's happening, everybody? Another day, another show. Motivation Monday. Man, I got another great interview lined up for you guys this evening. I have none other than Mr. Cortez Springer, financial health mentor, black movement, black empowerment movement. This young brother just involved in everything for the community that's going to raise your awareness, going to raise your financial IQ, and I just cannot wait to get into this thing. So without further ado, Mr. Springer, how are you doing this evening, my brother?
I'm doing wonderful, Sheldon J. How about you, man?
I cannot complain, man, even if I wanted to. Can you dig it?
I can dig it, man. Thanks for having me on tonight, man. Excited to talk to your listeners about my favorite subject in the world, and that is black wealth, man. Building black wealth.
Say that again, man. I like the sound of that. Say it again, man.
Yeah, man. That's my favorite subject, man. Building black wealth, man. It's something that is very doable. We have to take a strategic approach, but it first starts with a mindset shift. We have to first believe that we deserve to prosper. We deserve to have wealth. So I'm going to give some strategies, but also throughout the show, I want people to be mindful of the mindset shift that needs to take place, that you have to believe that we are fathers, children of the Creator, man. If He owns it all, then so we are joint heirs, and we own it all as well.
Man. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, man, give your contact information and let the listeners know how they can get a hold of you and some of the things you got going on, and we're going to dive right in, my brother.
Sure. So I am H. Cortez, also known as the financial health mentor to the black community, founder and creator of the Black Wealth Movement, where we are a network of people committed to bringing financial literacy to the black community for the purpose of community development and economic empowerment. You can learn more about what we're doing at financialhealthmentor.com. If you go there, put in your name and email address, you'll be taken to our Black Wealth Movement overview, and you can learn more about that particular program. But basically, we teach people how to build wealth, and then we teach people who are ambitious enough to want to have their own business how to start their own financial education franchise. So while they're building wealth for themselves, they can teach other people how to do the same thing and earn a second, third, or fourth stream of income by doing so.
I love what you're doing. And I've been following you and watching your stuff, man. I mean, I've been engrossed in all your videos, like pretty much all day today. And like even when I first connected with you, man, I just got involved and started looking at what you were doing. And I love the concept that you have as far as the giving back concept and paying it forward and all that. But you made a statement, and I hear you make this statement a lot in those videos, is that we feel as black people that we do not deserve wealth. We do not deserve money or to be well off. And can you expound on that? Why do you think that mindset is?
Well, honestly, I think that is one of the remnants of post-traumatic slave syndrome, man.
Yes.
Slavery messed us up psychologically, and so much so that I coined a term called blackophobia, right? So the term acrophobia is actually the medical term for when you're afraid of heights.
Right.
So blackophobia is black people's innate fear of ascending to new heights themselves. So I believe that deep down inside, because at one point in our history, becoming successful, becoming great at something could have literally gotten us killed, gotten us hanged, we are kind of shunned away from anything that can potentially bring out the greatness that lies dormant within us. So that's why we self-sabotage a lot. That's why we say things like, oh, money ain't everything, or I don't believe in having money, or I'm content, I'm satisfied, or I'm going to get my blessing when I get to heaven, and those sorts of things, because deep down inside we have an innate fear of being successful because of our past history, in which case you know the stories of Black Wall Street and Rosewood and everything else that became great at the hands of black people have either gotten those people killed, those institutions were burned to the ground, bombed, and you name it. So now in 2017, we carry that with us
Yes.
and deeply embedded in our subconscious, and sometimes we self-sabotage because of that fact that if I become too great, somebody is going to come and take what I've built away from me. As I'm talking about building wealth, and I travel the country doing lectures and teaching and all of this kind of stuff, and I mentioned the term Black Wall Street and rebuilding it, and the first thing 9 out of 10 black people say is, you know, they're going to burn it down again, right? And that tells me that we're still stuck in that mindset of blackophobia, where we just believe that, you know, we're afraid innately to ascend to new heights because of the fear that it could bring harm to us in some way, shape, or form.
You're right about that, man. And also, too, what did Harriet Tubman say? She could have freed more had they known that they were slaves, right? So
Exactly.
But check this out, though. Whatever message destroying all of that stuff was supposed to send, it worked, right? Because you saying in 2017, we're still asking some of the same questions. We're still trying to make some of the same strides. We're still fighting for some of the same things and the rights and all that stuff. So whatever message that was sent, that you guys are not going to have anything without us tearing it up or messing it up. As you say, someone had just said that, what, in 2017?
In 2017, man, that's the first thing that comes out of people's minds when I talk about building black wealth and rebuilding a black dynasty and all that kind of stuff. Is people like, man, they just don't tear it down, and it's like, what do they expect us to do? Just roll over and die and give up and be subservient forever? No, there's got to come a time where we be willing to die for the things that we want to have and possess. And believe it or not, other cultures aren't willing to die. They are willing to pretend that they're willing to die because they know our fear of death is so great. So if they pretend that they're willing to go all the way, that's usually enough to stop us from getting started at all.
So it's the same old hocus pocus magic tricks, and they keep working because honestly, what we is now is so we're afraid of being builders, but 100% consumers.
Exactly. And we use that as an excuse to consume. And that's also part of post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Yes, sir.
When there was a time when Massa gave us money on the plantation, it was mandated that we spend it all on booze and partying.
Mandate.
So fast forward to 2017, what takes place on Payday Friday?
Turn up,
Most
baby.
of us will get up and go turn up. Exactly, because that's part that was been entrenched in us. Massa didn't. We couldn't take that money and save it. We couldn't take that money and pool it with somebody else so we can go buy us a little plot of land and start growing a little bit of our own food. No, we couldn't do anything with that money that empowered us. We were only allowed to do things with that money that destroyed us, and we lived in that state for 100 years or so, and that is still entrenched in us. That's why they have no problem letting us make a little money on the job, because as soon as we do, they know that we're going to give it right back.
Income tax, right? It goes right back.
Yeah.
So, man, you're right, man. It's now because of those deep challenges and the post-traumatic slave disorder, and I speak to people about that a lot, right? And some look at me like I done lost my mind, and some like, yeah, you're right, that makes sense. But because I listen to Dr. Joy DeGruy, she speaks on that about the cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
It becomes argumentative because what you are speaking goes against everything that they believe, and if you're not aligned with who you are as a person and really grounded, you'll end up having a debate just on sharing information, because of that mindset.
Yes. We are a sick people. So I talk to anybody who is in my line of work trying to help people better themselves, especially our people, and ascend to new heights. How do you deal with a sick person? You deal with them with a tremendous amount of patience. And in my line of work, teaching wealth-building principles and strategies that so many people are scared to death of, I just have to be patient. I hear some of the most ignorant things that you could ever hear when it comes to, strategies and building wealth. And but what keeps me grounded, what keeps me moving forward is I know that my people is sick. And in order for them to get well, somebody has to be be extremely patient and tentative to that illness to help them overcome it. And then over time, they will eventually see the light at the end of the tunnel and start moving towards it.
See, everyone doesn't have that though, and so I always appreciate and commend those people that actually do that, because I'm on those same shoes, and I understand. And sometimes it can frustrate you because, man, look, I'm giving you this information. I mean, you rather go pay somebody for this information, and then all you got is information. But I'm gonna give you this information and give it with a game plan. The answer is still no.
Yeah,
you still don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I had someone tell me that they couldn't understand the product that I sell, which is financial education, and then turn around in the same breath told me that they just purchased Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace course. Like, you understood that he was selling financial education, but you can't understand that I'm selling financial education. So those are the kinds of mind games that people play, and that you have to help them to overcome if you're going to put them in position to start building lasting and generational wealth. So, I believe that I'm called by God for this mission, in part because of the patience that he imparted to me. I can talk for hours on end without getting frustrated with someone over some things that I really know that they just don't understand, or that they don't care to understand. But I can stay patient enough with them to help them help them see what I'm trying to educate or communicate to them without getting frustrated and chewing their head off. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't get frustrated. It just means I don't take it out on them, right? Or I don't let them see that frustration. But I mean, I deal with some very, very negative stuff at times. I had a guy on my Facebook page telling me that I'm wrong for having people chase money. And I had to quickly correct him that, no, I don't have people chasing money. I have people chasing wealth. And there's a difference. Wealth is an abundance of resources. Money is just one of those resources. Mm-hmm. So when you chase wealth, you're chasing all sorts of resources, including joy, happiness, peace, imagination, creativity. All of those are resources that can lead to prosperity. So it's not just about money, but, people find ways to rationalize staying in their same condition. And that's usually one of those ways of trying to convince others that they are content with where they are. But at the same time, those people will run you over if you get in their way and they're late for work.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's all about, again, the conditioning, television programming. What do they say? Stay tuned for our next program, tell live vision, So once I started doing more and more research about life, history, finance, and all those things, man, I kind of got mad for a minute, right? Because I'm like, the people that raised me didn't tell me some of this stuff, right? But the thing about it is that they only knew so much stuff. But then when you go back with this, like, man, I'm excited. I got all this information to share. And as you say, sometimes it can deflate your balloon if you're not God made for this particular mission, right? Because it can really be deflating. I was at my parents' church in East Texas, right? And I had the first annual economic conference in Crockett, and they made the announcement and everything, and everybody, they spoke on it, and they gave the announcement about all the stuff that was going to be done, all the people on the panel and stuff like that. Not one amen, not one hand clap, not one, oh man, that's great, thank you for doing nothing. It was straight quiet after it was done, and I almost felt some kind of way. But then I immediately went to my parents' house and I made a video, right? And I put it up. I said, motivate yourself, encourage yourself. No one can push you like you can push you. I didn't take that and get mad and angry. I took that as there's more work to do, and we understand that. And again, that's why I can commend you, man. I really appreciate you for doing that, bro, because you're getting outside of yourself to help someone else that may or may not appreciate what you have to offer. You don't have to do that.
You're absolutely right, man. And I find that part of the reason is that we are in this condition that helps to perpetuate this sickness that carries over from post-traumatic slave syndrome is because of the church as an institution doesn't do a good enough job of teaching financial principles that are actually very